What if I told you, the less you explain yourself, the more she thinks about you? Sounds crazy, right? But wait. Imagine if your silence was the loudest thing she ever heard. Let's start with a real feeling, okay? You like a girl. You really, really like her. Every time you see her, your heart beats a little faster. She's beautiful. She's smart. She makes you laugh. And you want her to like you too, right? So what do most guys do? They chase her. They call her. They text her good morning and good night. They send her memes. They ask her how her day was. They ask to hang out. They try so hard to be nice, funny, and perfect every single day. But guess what? Sometimes the harder you try, the faster she pulls away. Ouch. That hurts, doesn't it? You're giving so much. You're showing you care. And she just seems less and less interested. Now you're sitting there wondering, did I do something wrong? Was I too boring? Too kind? Not cool enough? But the truth is, you didn't do anything wrong. You just made one big mistake. You gave her too much clarity. Yes, you made it too easy, too predictable, too obvious. There were no mysteries, no surprises, no what-ifs. You were like a book where every page is already turned. No secrets, no puzzles, no reasons to lean in and read more. And let me tell you something about people, especially women. They don't fall for what they understand right away. They fall for what makes them feel curious. They fall for what they can't quite figure out. They fall for a man who makes them wonder, who is he? Really? See, when she knows everything about you too fast, when she knows exactly where you are, what you're doing, how you feel all the time, her mind stops working. And when her mind stops working, her heart starts slowing down too. But when you leave clues, little hints, small pieces of your world, when you don't say too much, when you don't show everything at once, her mind goes into overdrive. What did he mean by that? Why hasn't he replied yet? What's he doing? Who's he with? Is he still thinking about me? Boom. Her thoughts go spinning. And now, you're living in her head rent-free. That's not because you're mean or cold or playing games. It's because you're a man with a life. A man who doesn't explain every little move. A man who's not always available. A man who's focused on more than just her. You're the man who leaves clues, not clarity. You're the man who lives with mystery, confidence, and calm. And guess what? That kind of man is rare. And what's rare becomes valuable. When she can't have all of you, she wants more of you. That's the mind trick she can't resist. And you don't need to say anything to do it. Just live with purpose. Live with direction. Speak less. Watch more. Smile. Then disappear. Be present. Then busy. You don't need to pull back. That sounds like a game. This isn't a game. This is your life. Let her feel your absence when you're doing the things that matter. Let her miss you while you're building your world. Trust me, it'll drive her crazy, in the best way. Ready to dive deeper? Ever wonder why the guy who says less gets more attention, while the guy who always tries ends up ignored? There's a reason, and it's not what you think. Let's talk about something most people won't tell you. You don't need to try harder to make her want you. You don't need to be funnier, taller, richer, or even more handsome. You don't need to chase her like your life depends on it. What you really need is space. Yeah, space. The kind of space where you stop trying to win her heart every second. The kind of space where you stop calling her every night, hoping she'll love you back. The kind of space where you make your own life the main focus, not her. You see, when you chase, she doesn't feel your value. When you chase, she starts running faster, away. Why? Because chasing is about fear. You're afraid of losing her. You're afraid of missing a chance. You're afraid she might forget you. But here's the truth. When she feels you living without her, she wonders where you went. And that wonder, it grows into interest. That interest, it turns into curiosity. And that curiosity, it can pull her toward you like a magnet. Let's get real. A man who's always available becomes boring. A man who's always texting, always calling, always showing up becomes easy to forget. But a man who is sometimes quiet, sometimes gone, and always busy with purpose, that man is unforgettable. He's different, rare, a mystery. She starts to think, where is he? What's he doing? Why hasn't he messaged me? Is he with someone else? Is he thinking about me? Or has he moved on? See what just happened. Now you're not chasing her, she's chasing you in her mind. And you didn't have to play games. You just had to stop giving away your attention like candy. You just had to live your life. This isn't about making her jealous. It's about showing her that you're already complete, with or without her. You're not a lost boy looking for love. You're a man on a mission. And love is something that walks beside you, not something you chase. That's the real secret, my friend. Stop chasing her. Start chasing your purpose. When she sees that, she starts chasing you. What if I told you, the less you explain yourself, the more she thinks about you? Sounds strange, right? But it works. Here's why. Let's get into something that's hard for most guys. Not explaining everything. I know. When you like someone, you want them to understand you. You want them to know you care. You want to say things like, hey, just so you know, I really like you. I didn't mean to upset you. I'm not ignoring you, I've just been busy. You want to be clear. You want to be honest. You want to be safe. But here's the truth. Clarity kills curiosity. When you give her the whole map, there's nothing left to explore. When you explain everything, there's no mystery. And when there's no mystery, the attraction starts to fade. You don't have to lie. You don't have to be rude. You just have to leave space and let her wonder. Let's say you suddenly get quiet. Not angry, not cold, just quiet. You don't say, I'm pulling back. You don't say, I need space. You just go live your life. You go to the gym. You read your books. You work on your goals. You hang with your friends. You leave clues that you're busy, but never explain what you're doing. Maybe you post a picture at the beach. Maybe you smile in a photo, but don't say where you are. Maybe you leave her message on read for a bit, not because you're playing games, but because you're actually focused on your life. And guess what happens? She starts to notice the silence. She starts to feel the shift. She starts to ask herself, why hasn't he said anything? Did I do something? Is he over me? What's going on in his mind? Now you've created power, not power to control her, but power to protect your peace. And that peace, that quiet confidence, that calm energy is magnetic. You're not a boy trying to explain every little feeling. You're a man who knows he doesn't owe full access to anyone who hasn't earned it. Women are drawn to what they don't fully understand. They're pulled toward mystery, especially when it's backed by genuine confidence and emotional calm. So remember this: you don't have to be loud to be noticed. You don't have to explain to be understood. Sometimes silence says everything. Ever wonder why the guy who doesn't try too hard always seems to get her attention? Let me show you the reason why. Let's talk about something powerful that most men ignore: being okay with being misunderstood. Yeah, you heard that right. Most men rush to fix every tiny misunderstanding. She frowns, and he panics. She gets quiet, and he floods her with messages. She says, "I don't know how I feel," and he begs her to feel better. But here's the truth: the need to be understood is what breaks attraction. If she doesn't get you right now, it's okay. You don't have to correct her. You don't have to fix her thoughts. You don't have to give her answers. Because you know what's more powerful than proving yourself? Letting her figure you out, slowly. Women love a mystery they can't solve in one night. They fall for the guy who doesn't chase after every little feeling. They're drawn to the one who's not shaken by silence or confusion. That's what emotional mastery looks like. It's not cold, it's not mean. It's strong. Strong men don't freak out when things get a little confusing. They stay calm. They stay focused. They keep living their life, no matter what someone else feels in the moment. Let's say she says, "You seem different lately. I don't know where this is going. You don't talk like before." Most men would fall into the trap. They'd start explaining, over-talking, and proving. But you just smile. And you stay grounded in your truth. Because here's the secret: she doesn't want full control. She wants to feel something real. And a man who doesn't explain every move, he feels real. He feels deep. He feels mature. He feels like a puzzle worth solving. The more calm you are with her confusion, the more curious she becomes about you. And that curiosity, that's the fire that keeps the attraction alive. So let her wonder, let her guess, let her feel a little unsure. You don't need to fix everything. You only need to be sure of yourself. And that changes everything. Now, are you ready to find out how your purpose can flip the game completely in your favor? Why do women chase the man who doesn't make her the center of his world, but walk away from the one who does everything for her? Let's open the secret door most guys never even see. Here's a big truth most men are scared to accept. You were not born to revolve around a woman. You were born to follow something bigger. And that something bigger is called purpose. Now listen closely. A man who has no purpose, he gets lost in women. He loses his strength trying to keep her happy. He forgets who he is just to keep her around. But a man who has purpose, he becomes a magnet. You know why? Because he's not sitting by his phone hoping she texts. He's out there building, learning, moving forward. He wakes up with a goal. He sleeps with peace. And here's the wild part. Women can feel it, even without words. They feel when a man is chasing his mission. And guess what? They want to be near that. They want to be part of it. They want to belong to a man who doesn't need them to breathe, but who welcomes them into his world. That's the difference. Needing her makes you weak. But inviting her into your journey, that makes you powerful. Think about it. Would you rather be the man who drops everything for her? Or the man who's so focused she feels lucky just to get a little of your time? The world tells you, show her she's your everything. But Stoic wisdom says, she's not your everything. She's a part of your life. But your purpose comes first. When your purpose is clear, your energy changes. You stop being nervous. You stop overthinking. You stop asking, am I enough? Because deep down, you already know. You are building something. You are becoming someone. You are growing every single day. That's the kind of man women crave and respect. So remember, don't make her your mission. Let your mission shape your life and let her choose to walk with you. And now, are you ready to unlock the power of scarcity and how it silently raises your value without saying a word? What if saying less makes her think about you more? What if your silence makes more noise than your words? Let's talk about the magic of scarcity. Now listen. Imagine you walk into a candy store. There are 100 chocolate bars on the shelf. You grab one without thinking. No big deal. But now, imagine there's only one bar left. Suddenly, it feels special, right? You want it. You feel lucky if you get it. That, my friend, is scarcity. And guess what? People work harder for what is rare, and that includes you. When you're always there, always available, always replying fast, she doesn't feel the need to chase. She doesn't wonder where you are. She doesn't feel your value. But when you're focused on your goals, when you're not always texting, when you're not trying to be seen, you become like that last candy bar. Rare, valuable, and women notice. Oh, they feel it. Not because you're playing games, not because you're pretending, but because you're actually busy. Busy living, busy building, busy being a man with purpose. That's not mean. That's not cold. That's just wise. You don't need to disappear to make her want you. You just need to not be everywhere. Let her wonder what you're doing. Let her feel your absence sometimes. Let her miss your voice, your energy, your attention. The truth is, when something is rare, it becomes powerful. When something is too easy, it loses its magic. So next time you feel the urge to overgive, pause, breathe, remember, you are the prize. Make your time count. Don't offer it to everyone, especially not to someone who hasn't earned it. That's how you hold power. Not by chasing, but by choosing when to show up. And now, are you ready to explore how to stay calm and powerful even when emotions try to take over? Have you ever seen a man stay calm when everything around him is on fire? It's like he's made of stone, right? Now, what if you could be that man? Let's talk about emotional mastery. Okay, imagine this. You just got a message from her. She said something cold. Maybe she's ignoring you. Maybe she's pulling away. Your heart starts racing. Your mind screams, say something. Fix it. Tell her how much you care. But wait. Pause. Because what you do next decides everything. Most men, they react too fast. They send long texts. They explain themselves. They beg. They overthink. They lose sleep. But not you. Not anymore. Why? Because now you understand a powerful truth. Real strength is staying calm. Not pretending. Not hiding. But breathing. pausing, waiting. You're not a robot. You feel things, but you're in control. That's emotional mastery. It's not about acting like nothing matters. It's about knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. It's about feeling the fire, but not letting it burn your actions. You don't have to fight her with words. You don't have to explain yourself 100 times. You don't have to beg to be understood. Because a man who is calm in the middle of chaos, he stands out. He becomes magnetic. He becomes unforgettable. And guess what? Women notice this deeply. They test emotions. They test feelings. Not because they're mean, but because they want to see, can he handle pressure? Can he protect peace? And when you stay centered, when you stay solid, even when things shake, you answer that question without saying a word. So the next time emotions try to take over, don't fight them. Don't chase her. Just breathe. You're the mountain, not the storm. And that calm energy, that's what makes her come back. That's what makes her respect you. That's what makes her crave your presence. Now, what if I told you there's one more thing that makes your presence even more powerful? What if the thing she finds most attractive is something you can't buy, wear, or fake? It's not your car, not your looks, not your wallet. It's something you carry inside. Let's talk about it. Let me tell you something powerful. Real confidence is quiet. It doesn't scream. It doesn't try to prove. It just is. And guess what? She feels it. When a man is truly confident, he doesn't need to chase. He doesn't need to beg. He doesn't need to make loud promises. He just shows up as himself, and that's enough. So where does that kind of confidence come from? Not from likes on a post, not from muscles or money, not from other people clapping. It comes from within, from knowing who you are, from doing hard things, from keeping your word to yourself. When you say, I'm going to work out, and you do it, that's confidence. When you say, I'm going to stop texting her every time I feel lonely, and you actually stop, that's power. When you build your life day by day without needing her to fill the empty spots, that's a man who can't be replaced. You see, women are drawn to confidence that feels safe, not the loud guy in the room, but the one who doesn't have to talk to be noticed. The man who looks calm in the storm. The man who doesn't seek attention, but still gets it. The man who can smile alone. That's rare. That's valuable. And you can become that man. By building yourself, by keeping your promises, by being proud of how far you've come. That's when she starts to feel it. That unshakable strength, that calm fire, that mystery. And that's when she leans in. Not because you chased her, but because your energy said, I'm already whole. You don't need to prove your value. You just need to live your value. Now, want to know what happens when you mix that confidence with a little scarcity? On the next stage, we'll talk about the magic of being rare and how less of you makes her want more of you. Ready to unlock that secret? Why do people want something more? The moment it becomes hard to get, there's a hidden reason behind it. And once you understand this, she'll feel your absence like a fire in her chest. Let's break something big down today. Something that completely changes the game. It's called scarcity. And no, it's not a trick. It's not about acting busy. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about being a man who values his time, his peace, and his path. When something is always there, always ready, always too easy, people stop noticing it. Think about it. Water is everywhere, right? So we don't think about it. But gold, that's rare. Diamonds, rare. Peaceful, confident men, very rare. And when something is rare, it becomes valuable. When you are always available, when you're always texting first, when you drop everything the moment she blinks your way, you become like air. Normal, expected, easy. But when you live with purpose, when your time has meaning, when you go hours, even days, focused on your life, you stop being just another guy. You become the man she thinks about, the man she wonders about, the man who has other things going on. And suddenly, your absence says more than your words ever could. It says, I'm not chasing you. I'm chasing purpose. I'm not avoiding you. I'm just not obsessed. I'm not disappearing. I'm living. And that, my friend, is powerful. She starts checking her phone. She wonders what you're doing. She plays your last message again, just to hear your voice. Why? Because you're no longer predictable. You're no longer just there. You've become rare. And rare things, they don't beg. They don't chase. They don't need to explain. They simply exist. And people notice. So when you walk in peace, on your path, with your purpose, you don't have to shout. She'll feel it. And she'll want to be near it. On the final stage, we'll bring it all home. You'll learn the secret that ties everything together. The quiet move that makes her heart chase yours. Want to finish this strong? What if the most powerful move you ever make is no move at all? No chasing, no explaining, just quiet strength. Here's the final piece she never saw coming. Let's talk about something no one teaches boys. But it's something that every strong man knows deep inside. It's called being okay with silence. See, when most guys feel a girl slipping away, they panic. They start calling more, texting too much, asking, did I do something wrong? Trying to fix something that isn't even broken. But what if I told you? The real strength, the kind that makes her stop and think, comes from not reacting. That's right. Not because you don't care, but because you care about yourself more than your fear. This is the Stoic power she doesn't expect. When you don't chase, when you don't beg, when you just stand still, like a calm mountain in the storm. She feels it. She doesn't hear it. She feels it deep. Because silence, when it comes from confidence, not fear, is louder than 1,000 words. It tells her, he's not confused, he's clear. He's not needy, he's noble. He's not lost, he's on his path. And guess what? That's when her mind starts to spin. She starts remembering your voice, your energy, your presence. And you didn't even have to say a word. This isn't a trick. It's not a game. It's not about hurting her or ignoring her. It's about showing up for you, living your truth, walking your path, letting your silence be a message, not a weapon. When she feels you slipping away, but you don't explain. When she notices your absence, but you don't rush back. When she feels the space, But you stay calm. You become unforgettable. You become the kind of man who leaves a mark, not with noise, but with presence. Because here's the secret. A man who lives for himself will always attract the woman meant for him. No chasing, no proving, no begging, just living, just leading, just being.